This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, starting at verse 7. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, Come and see. Verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Ezekiel chapter 7, starting at verse 2. Also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, while Yahweh shout unto the land of Israel. And the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Verse 3. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. And my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thy abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, by Yahweh Shah. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, an evil and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. Verse 7. The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. Verse 8. Now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and recompense thee for all thine abominations. Verse 9. And my eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, by Yahweh Shah that smiteth. Verse 10. Behold, the day, behold, it is come. The morning is gone forth. The rod hath blossomed, pride hath budded. Violence is risen up into a rod of wickedness. None of them shall remain, nor of their multitude, nor of any of theirs, neither shall there be dwelling for them. Verse 12. The time is come, the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. Verse 13. For the seller shall not return to that which he is sold, although they were yet alive, for the vision is touching the whole multitude thereof, which shall not return, neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. Verse 14. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. Verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Kol Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem Rachag. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity and risking their lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth to you. I say Shalom. This is the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, fellow servant coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And I just want to do a quick hit, Lord willing, on an article I got off Newsbreak. It's actually off the Daily Mirror. It says, fears brain swelling Nipah virus with up to 75% death rate may become next pandemic. So, as at the end of the day, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua controls all these different pestilences. You know, this have already been spoken of, as far as, with this whole CV, a lot of brothers never said it wasn't an actual something going on. It's just basically when you do the data on it, like Apostle Tahar said, out of all the family members he got, all the people he know, he doesn't know anybody that actually contracted it or will basically die from it. He was talking about how he said his woman basically was said that she got it, but they didn't they didn't basically give her the vaccine or anything. He said they sent her home, told her to quarantine, and then she just healed. So he was like, you don't know if you had the regular flu or not. So basically, with the numbers that they're saying, like they're promoting it, that this is just a devastating disease. That's just like a sleight of hand or a trick of the mind. Esau plays on fear. I remember when it first came out because I got sick. I'll never forget that because it was all around Friday the 13th too. You know, my demon got me sick. Just another one of the bitches. Bad luck. Anyhow, the whole household was sick. And funny part is my children was sick as well, but that just show you how the Lord is so cold. They bounced back, immediately. Like I think one of my daughters was sick for like a day, but me and my demon, we were sick. I think I was sick for the longest. So the point being, I always said it's spiritual. But like I said, they're going to play on fears, and like I said, I mean, you got a multitude of different pestilences out there, but at the end of the day, the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua controls all these. So I've never even heard of this disease or virus, Nipah virus, but let's go into this. It says scientists are worried about the brain swelling Nipah disease, which has a death rate of up to 75%, potentially becoming the next big virus. The fruit bat borne disease has now it's a fruit bat borne. And then it's funny too because just today, when I got this article, they was talking about the first cases of human and bird flu. Like, as the bird flu wasn't like they're saying that human beings contracted now bird flu, and it was another one. I would have to actually go through the news break articles, but it was talking about basically you got the first human case of having bird flu, and it was something else, and this one. So best believe they're gonna play on these different viruses. Besides the fact that they're saying that Fauci, your boy Fauci, literally saying that with the different variants of this CV, they're saying all of 2022 they're gonna have to wear a mask. I mean, we only in 2021, possibly, but then already putting it in your mind. So what's the purpose of the whole vaccine there? It says the fruit bat-borne disease has sparked fears among experts as it is a high rate of mutation and is extremely deadly. Vomiting, seizures, and brain swelling are some of the symptoms of the virus, which first jumped from pigs to farmers in Malaysia in 1999. The mortality rate of Nipah ranges between 40 to 75%, far higher than the 1% rate for coronavirus. And that's the spirit. Because look at this. They telling you the rate is 1%. So why is the whole world stopped based on this CV? The mortality rate, meaning the death rate of Nipah, ranges from 40 to 75%, far higher than 1% for coronavirus. According to the World Health Organization, the body named the disease as one of the 16 priority pathogens that need to be researched due to their potential to spark an epidemic, the Sun reports. A total of 260 viruses have been epidemic potentials, experts found. Nipah is particularly worried as it has high rate of mutation and an incubation period of up to 45 days, meaning a person could spread it for more than a month before falling sick. Scientists are worried that the next pandemic could be far worse than the CV crisis. And you got to remember, these people literally, you got a Center for Disease Control. They actually take diseases and actually study them and actually play with them and whatnot. You know what I mean? You know, that's why you hadn't heard about what was that just literally they hadn't talked about in years, and then Ebola. It hadn't been no Ebola outbreaks in quite a while, years. And out the blue, after this CV shit pops up, they talking about it was a case of Ebola, I think in Africa, somewhere. It was somewhere in another country recently, though. Dr. Melanie Seville, head of vaccine research and development at the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovation, told the Sun that the world needs to be ready for the big one. It says she said that although there are no current Nipah outbreaks in the world, it is extremely likely another will happen in the future. Nipah is one of the viruses that could absolutely be the cause of a new pandemic. Several things about Nipah are very concerning, she told the Sun. Pigs caught the disease after eating infected mangoes before passing the virus on to humans. Dr. Seville added, most crucially, we shouldn't just be looking at Nipah. We know that a future pandemic is inevitable, and there are many other emerging infectious diseases that are recognized as having pandemic potential. And you got to remember, literally, like something is going to happen because you got to remember when Bill Gates and his funny-looking wife made the statement about they didn't take this first outbreak serious, but this second one will get everybody's attention. You got to remember, like Bill Gates funded a lot of research. He funded a lot of research with these vaccines, as well as, like that man spends a lot of money, you know, giving out money, what is that called? Like a philanthropist when you give away money, but he ain't just necessarily giving it away. You know what I mean? Like he's giving it to certain industries for particular things. It's not a coincidence that prior to this Arctic storm, he bought all that farmland. It's not coincidence that prior he's promoting those supposed to be the impossible meats and the genetically grown meats. Well, not grown, but the genetically the plant-based meats. But that probably ain't plant. You don't know what the fuck that shit is. You know what I mean? The what's that called? 3D printed meats. You know, it's not coincidence he's promoting that, but then he bought all this farmland. Like I think he's the biggest landowner in the U.S. right now because he bought all that farmland. So what purpose? To have you Morkmans eating this 3D printed meat while these elites are eating actually like what's the word? Actual real food. She said known diseases such as influenza could turn into. How can influenza? You know what the influenza is? It's the flu. Could turn into a pandemics as well as unidentified viruses known as disease X. So at the end of the day, ultimately all this is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. I read that Salakia. Bear with me. So this is all the will of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. And it tells you that this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 39, beginning at I'm going to start at verse 24. As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. Verse 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for the sinners. Verse 26. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, salt, flour of wheat, which the brother from Las Vegas went into, that Arctic storm actually destroyed a lot of wheat. On top of the fact that we were already having trouble, the farmers were having trouble because basically, because you had a lot of flooding the year prior and the year prior to that, on top of the fact that you had a lot of animals had to be put down, so that they basically creating a man-made famine. When you go into like in Texas, people would, because you ain't experiencing it, so a lot of people out of sight, out of mind. But I mean, if you're not aware, like they running out of food down there. Like real talk, and that's pretty much a beta test. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of violence down there. So may the Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua watch over all the sincere Akim down there, because you got brothers in Dallas and in Houston, and I'm sure throughout the whole state of Texas. But it's about to get serious down there. They were showing how basically they upcharging a lot of stuff. I think they was saying a case of water was like $20, but just imagine what it is now. And I know for a fact that they ran out of food because, like I said, a lot of supermarkets only hold like 3 days worth of food, but because a lot of the food had spoiled because of the power went out, that probably made it even more difficult to obtain food. So yeah, it's gonna be serious down there. It said, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil. Verse 28, they will be spears that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Verse 29, fire and hail, famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. And that's what the Most High is going to use to, get at a lot of these wicked ass individuals in this. I mean, because we coming into time of judgment. Me and the brothers was just speaking about that yesterday. A situation happened with one of the brothers, and he was saying how, he could understand why certain brothers don't really like go out or really like at a certain times. And he was like, because the spirits out here. And yeah, of course. They got a such thing called the witching hour. You know what I mean? That's why you see a lot of violent shit happen at certain times. Like, look at like between like 12 and like 6 in the morning. Like a lot of crazy shit happen. I knew that in the world though. Yeah. But anyhow, the fire, hail, and famine and death, and that pestilence, them diseases. That's a spirit. Bear with me. It says, Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 11. Wherefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all thy detestable things and with all thine abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee, neither shall my eye spare, neither will I have any pity. Verse 12. A third part of thee shall die with the pestilence, and with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee, and a third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter a third part into all the winds, and I will draw out a sword after them. Verse 13, thus shall my anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them. I'm gonna read this to the end. Moreover, I will make thee waste and a reproach among the nations that are round about thee in the sight of all that pass by. And this is basically going into the 2/3 of Israel. You know what I mean? Because our people are going to. It tells you, the Lord is going to start at His sanctuary first. You're going to see a lot of, and you were seeing a lot of Jay getting judged last year, but more so this year. Watch this. You know what I mean? Because Israel's going to get judged flat out because majority of our people are wicked. But then, like I said, like I read in Ezekiel chapter 7, He's gonna actually judge everybody. You know what I mean? And you're gonna have certain heathen that's gonna not be touched because for whatever for whatever reason, the Most High, because you're gonna have. You're going to have the Edomites that's going to be spared to a certain extent because they're going to have to go into slavery. You know what I mean? That's why you're going to have Edomites that's going to run into their bunkers. You know what I mean? But for the most part, a lot of people about to get judged. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you've been following what's going on in Texas, like I said, that's just like a preview of what's to come to all these states. Like I said, they keep on talking about how Texas is at the forefront of everything, but like I said, when you really research, that affected more than just Texas. The Arctic storm affected like 25 states. Now, I guess Texas got hit the hardest, but like I said, they do beta tests on different cities. I mean, like it's like they playing Monopoly or what's that? The Sims, in real life. But like I said, ultimately, this is the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. It says, verse 15, so it shall be a reproach and a taunt and an instruction and an astonishment upon the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgment in thee in anger and in fury and fierce rebukes. I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it. Verse 16, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, I will increase the famine upon you, and I will break your staff of bread. And you can see that now, like I said, When you go into Texas, they ran out of food. So like I said, you know they what's that called? Price gouging, where or it's rough. I forgot what it's called. I might have made that up, but when they jack up the price of certain goods, you got stores that tend to do that. Know who good for doing that? Them Arabs, Arabs, however you want to call it. Ishmael faggot ass. But yeah, they do it all the time, especially in the hood. Like they'll set up shop in the ghetto, and then literally, a pack of ramen noodles they charge you 75 cents for one pack. But you can go to Dollar Tree and get a 5 pack of ramen noodles for $1, but they'll charge you 75 cents for what? Awesome, like, yeah. Verse 17, so will I send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence. That's them diseases. And blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it. I'm going to end it on this. The book of Psalms, chapter 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noise of pestilence. I'm going to skip to verse 6. North Salakia. I'm going to keep on reading. Verse 4, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. He is the truth. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So those feathers is representing the chariots. And the truth is the shield and buckler, because it talks about how the scriptures are this is a spiritual weapon. It's a sword. It's a defense and an offensive weapon. When you getting plagued by Satan, you use this as a defensive. You can use it defensively. You know what I mean? Because when Satan throws fiery darts at your mind, and how you combat them fiery darts with the scriptures. Just like when you dealing with a demon, you know what I mean? How do you combat that demon? Because you can't physically combat it. You combat it through the scriptures. Like when Yahweh Shah was combating Satan. That's your example, what you use. What did he do? As much power as Yahweh Shah had, he didn't combat him physically. He combated him through the scriptures. Verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. Verse 6, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. And the point was, you being in this truth, and you know that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua is for you, you know what I mean? It says, you shall not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness. This CV is a pestilence that walketh in darkness because you can't see it. Nipah, this Nipah virus, I've never even heard of it, but then I think I have, because I think, like they said, it was like a lot of animals was getting it. But like I said, just don't be surprised if it be another outbreak suddenly. That's the spirit. CV 19 p.m. to announce lockdown exit plan. Okay, but anyhow, don't be surprised if it just be a major ramp up of like all these different, or some kind of like a variant of some kind of virus, because like I said, they've been speaking on it as of lately too much. Then, like I said, what does it tell you in 2 Thessalonians about when people say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon them? Roughly paraphrased, because all these different you got what is this right here? It says CV-19 right, because you got all these different places like it says CV-19 p.m. to Prime Minister to announce lockdown exit plan, and Scottish and Welsh schools start to reopen. You got all these different schools that's talking about reopening. Hell, in Ohio, where we're out of, Cleveland, Ohio, they talking about reopening the schools next month. So now everybody was just locked down, and now all these different places are scrambling to try and open up. It went from you gotta have a CV-19 vaccine to now the CDC is saying you literally don't have to have it, just 6 feet distance. So hold on, but then they want you to wear a double mask. So they want you to wear a double mask and really kill yourself without being able to breathe, but yet still, you got to wear the double mask, but you don't have to take the vaccine. But everything was contingent on the vaccine. So these people, like I said, literally are shooting from the hip. And Salakia for all the digression, because like I said, I've been bouncing around a little bit. But the point of this lesson is, like I said, don't be surprised to hear about more viruses. But at the end of the day, it's ultimately the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I brought out enough scriptures. He controls the pestilences. So, and he controls Esau. It tells you in scripture that he orders the steps. So with that, I'm going to end the lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Call Elohim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Arachak, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives to do so. Shalom for Aqua for the Akim out there listening and learn. Lord willing, it was edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad and the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, subscribing to this truth to you. I say shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly, I'm able to come with another edifying lesson. Shalom, shalom, and Mawatha Lababah. Shalom.